Welcome back to Cars Analyzed. I'm Chad, and today we're taking a look at 4 of the quickest accelerating cars that you can buy new in 2022. We're going to go through MSRP pricing. We're going to take a look at the engine specs. We're going to do a deeper dive into the performance and see exactly how quick they accelerate 0 to 60 and in the quarter mile. We are going to take a look at the dimensions, including the internal dimensions, external size of the car, cargo volume, and the weight of the vehicle. We are going to look at the EPA mileage ratings, and then we're going to take a quick look at what some third-party reviewers have to say about each one of these cars. The 4 quickest accelerating cars for 2022. Starting with the Ford Mustang GT that comes in 7 different trim levels. The GT with the V8 engine starts at $37,545. The Chevy Camaro with the V8 engine comes in 8 different trim levels. However, you can get the LT1 with the V8 engine for $35,395. Now that's a starting price. Of course, you start adding options, that will definitely increase. But that is a very good starting price compared to the Ford Mustang and the Dodge Challenger. Speaking of the Dodge Challenger, Dodge offers 11 different trim levels for the Challenger and all sorts of different engines. However, you are able to get one of their V8 engines in the RT, which starts at a price of $39,075. So I'm not surprised that we have the Ford Mustang, Chevy Camaro, and Dodge Challenger on this list. What I am surprised is that in each one of these cases, you're able to get the V8 engine for under $40,000 US. What is extremely surprising is that number 4 on our list is the Hyundai Veloster N with only 1 trim level and with a starting price of $32,500. So for the price, what do you get as far as engine specs? The Ford Mustang comes with a 5-liter V8 with rear-wheel drive. It is offered in a 6-speed manual or a 10-speed automatic. You will get 450 horsepower and 410 foot-pounds of torque. Not to be outdone is the Chevy Camaro with a 6.2-liter V8 also with rear-wheel drive, offering a 6-speed manual and a 10-speed automatic. However, the Chevy outperforms the Ford as far as horsepower with an additional 5 horsepower, raising it to 455 horsepower and jumping the torque to 455 foot-pounds of torque. The Dodge Challenger does come with several different versions of the V8 engine. The RT comes with a 5.7-liter V8 with rear-wheel drive, a 6-speed manual, or an 8-speed automatic transmission. A little bit down on horsepower compared to the Ford Mustang and the Chevy Camaro. It comes with 375 horsepower and 410 foot-pounds of torque. Now the Hyundai Veloster N. Wow. We've been going through 5 liters, 6.2 liters, 5.7 liters, V8. Cut all of that in half, even more than half. We have a 2-liter 4-cylinder turbo. Instead of rear-wheel drive, we have front-wheel drive. The Veloster N comes with a 6-speed manual or an 8-speed DCT automatic transmission. Definitely down on horsepower in comparison. It delivers 275 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque. Let's take a look at how the power translates into acceleration. Just a reminder, when we reference the quickest cars in 2022, we are specifically referring to 0 to 60 and quarter-mile acceleration times. With that said, the Ford Mustang GT does the sprint to 60 in 3.8 seconds, and the quarter mile in 12.1 seconds at 120 miles per hour. Very, very close is the Chevy Camaro with the V8, accelerating to 0 to 60 in 3.9 seconds and clocking in at the quarter mile in 12.2 seconds at 118 miles per hour. So neck and neck between the Ford Mustang and the Chevy Camaro. I will say though, not that I like one over the other. I don't want to seem biased, but there is more reference to the Chevy Camaro's acceleration with 0 to 60 in quarter mile times, matching or coming close to the numbers I have here from Car and Driver. However, the Ford Mustang GT with the 10-speed auto is referenced using a 2018 test car, and not many references that back this up. So I only mention that because it could be a fluke that this Mustang GT specifically is this quick, and that it may in real world be a little bit slower. With that said, let's jump to the Dodge Challenger RT. Reminder that this is definitely down on horsepower compared to the Camaro and the Mustang. Nonetheless, accelerates from 0 to 60 in 5 seconds, and the quarter mile comes in at 13.6 at 104. I'm surprised but not surprised. I mean, look at this car. This is a beast. It's huge and it weighs a lot, and I'll get to that in a minute. So I guess I'm not surprised that it's, quote, this slow, because it's big, it's heavy. But a car that looks like this, one would expect it would be a lot faster. Now let's jump to the Hyundai Veloster N. With the DCT automatic transmission, it accelerates from 0 to 60 in 4.8 seconds. Pretty impressive for a front-wheel drive car. Accelerating to that 60 in 0.2 tenths of a second faster than the Dodge Challenger. The Hyundai Veloster N comes in at 13.4 seconds for the quarter mile at 105 miles per hour, so a little bit quicker in the quarter mile as well. So with an engine that is half its size, it is a little quicker than the Challenger RT. Let's see, what does this level of performance cost you at the pump? Oof, it does cost you. The price of performance. These big V8 engines still like to guzzle that gas. With all of them coming in around 15, 16 miles per gallon city. Lucky if you get 24, 25, 26 miles per gallon highway. You're going to pay for those large engines. The Hyundai Veloster N has a, comparatively speaking, phenomenal EPA gas mileage rating. I did reference before what I thought might be the case as far as the slower acceleration times for the Dodge Challenger, and maybe also what could be the reason for the lower miles per gallon, the EPA ratings. And that could be the overall weight of the car, which is extremely important when it comes to both acceleration, cornering, braking for that matter, and mileage ratings. So let's take a look at the overall dimensions. And not surprisingly, the Hyundai Veloster N is the lightest, coming in at 3,100 pounds, with the heaviest, also not surprising, coming in at over 4,100 pounds. So that Dodge Challenger is over 1,000 pounds heavier than that Veloster N. And the Veloster N does not need as much horsepower and torque, doesn't need the larger engine that the others have in order to accelerate the way it does. Looking at the Mustang and the Camaro, the relatively speaking about the same size. From a weight perspective, Mustang comes in at 3,752 pounds and the Camaro at 3,696 pounds. It's great to have a great looking quick car that you purchase for a reasonable price, but you know, sometimes you may need to carry people. The Mustang, Camaro, and Challenger, I mean, if we really are honest with ourselves, really doesn't have a backseat. What is your cargo volume for each one of these cars? Well, the Veloster N is definitely at the top of the list with a whopping 20 cubic feet behind the second row seats and 44.5 cubic feet if you lay down the second row seat. So that's huge. But if you look at the Mustang's 13.5 and the Challenger's actually pretty decent size of 16.2 cubic feet, those are decent size. Chevy Camaro, I'm surprised, I wouldn't have guessed this, that it only has a little bit more than 9 cubic feet of cargo volume. The other piece I'd like to mention is just the overall size of the vehicle. Driving these cars around, that Veloster N is a smaller car with a length of 168 inches. You know, that's easy to get in and out of places, parking spots, just maneuver that car around. In comparison to the Challenger, which is a huge car, and I've driven this car myself, it feels like a boat. At 198 inches long, a width of almost 76 inches, and a height, even the height, it's a tall car, 57.7 inches. It's a sizable vehicle. And then of course the Ford Mustang and Chevy Camaro comes in smaller than the Challenger, but definitely larger than the Veloster N. Let's take a look at what some third-party reviewers are saying about each one of these cars. I hope you liked this video. If you did, please consider giving it a like and subscribe and turn on notifications. Thank you very much for joining, and until next time.